Hey guys, good afternoon. Lisa here, coming to you with this sixth and final module of Project U. So, the sky's the limit, the world's your lobster. I'm sure a lot of you will know that expression. I think it was Del Boy only fools and horses. But you're really coming into the last quarter, the last four, the back four, and we really want you to get to where you want to go to, put your foot on the gas, foot on the pedal, and just start to see how this change in your life can help you in other areas of your life. I know for a fact when I would have spoken to you very first off, you would have felt not great. We would have had a conversation. You might have said things like you lost your mojo, that your confidence is shot, you've got a wardrobe full of lovely clothes that you can no longer get into. You know, a lot of people talk to me about how they feel about work. Are they being judged by how they look? A lot of people are concerned about their health because, you know, as we all know, more and more often now, there are so many more related diseases to weight, being overweight. And you're not in that same place anymore. And when you move away from that place, it's the time, because you do start to feel better and all these things are becoming a bit more of a distant memory, it's the time to really start cementing things down. So we're going to be looking today at three coaching modules, coaching models that we'll be revisiting, and two will be new ones for you. So that's Future Self, Wheel of Everything, Piece of Cheese, and the 5 pillars. So you would have done the Future Self quite early on, and I want you to revisit it. So you might say, well, you know, why are you telling me this, Lisa? Why do you want me to revisit it? I did that. When you wrote that would have been in week 2, maybe week 3. Now you're coming into the last quarter of the program. How you felt then and how you feel now are going to be two different things. And I think this is a great opportunity to revisit that and see, do you still feel like that? Are you closer to that? You know, does that sound like a person you still want to become? Or is there more work you want to do? You know, it's a really good opportunity. So I want you to revisit that model and rewrite it, really firm it down. Because what you're doing here is also you're raising your self-awareness. Now, you might well be self-aware, and I'm not suggesting for one moment that you're not self-aware, but we've all got room for improvement. And a lot of these models, people have said to me, yeah, I really didn't think that about myself. By doing them, they say, yeah, that's not what I thought I was going to say. I was surprised that that came out of it. So I want you to revisit your future self and have a look. Does that still sound like the person that you want to be? Do you feel like that you already are that person, or is there more room? The other reason that we're going to do it, it's starting to make those firm commitments again. You know, it's really nailing down, this is who I'm going to become. I am this person now. It's making those firm commitments. It's talking out loud and saying, yes, I'm going to do that. You might be wondering who that person on the beach is. Well, it's actually me. I was very overweight at the time. I think that picture was taken. I wasn't aware of it being taken. I think my sister took it. And that person standing on the beach there did not think that I could become a different person. At that point in time, it was such a long, long way from where I was. I just didn't believe that that was possible and how things could change. And things have changed from me. So, you know, in terms of my own journey, what happened was not only did I lose, I think I lost 65 pounds was the total, and I'm going to show you a picture in a moment. But I gave up my interim role. I was doing part-time, my health and fitness coaching online, and I basically said, no, I'm going to make a commitment to do this full-time. And what's the worst that can happen? It won't work out. I also did a bodybuilding competition, Never in a million years did I think that I would end up getting on stage in an itsy bitsy teeny weeny pinky sparkly bikini, but I did. And also, the last thing, the really huge thing, was I moved from Hastings Beach, the picture on the left, to Spain, the picture on the right, where we live now, San Pedro, that is. So, you know, that's a huge amount of change. But I did that by engaging with these coaching models and making those firm commitments to myself. So, future self, that's going to be your first job, to revisit your future self, you know, and really kind of like craft a story around who you want to be. So the wheel of everything, or the piece of cheese as I call it, you may well have done this, but it basically, the reason it's a great exercise to do is it's a very much an opportunity to see how things can change, and by rating them on a percentage basis. So I have got a little training in this, and you will see it looks like the old-fashioned it's the piece of cheese in that board game, and the names escape me. Trivial Pursuits, there we are, it's just come back. But you look at 8 areas of your life, you give them a percentage of where you are now, and then, you know, which ones you want to work on, which 3 are the ones that you want to work on. There is a separate training on this, so I'm not going to go into too much detail here and now. A lot of people, you might well have already done this training. So, but the point being, when you identify those things, you realize that this process is a system. It's a systematic approach to change, and you can start to apply that to other areas of your life, as I myself did. You know, I wanted to challenge myself. I wanted to, you know, move to Spain. I wanted to do all these different things. I wanted to change careers, and I did all those things, but I did that in a systematic way. So 5 pillars, my 5 pillars. Here's me again on the left. Gosh, I do not like that photo. And there was me on the right, 65 pounds lighter. Again, who knew that I could do that? Who knew I could do all these things? I certainly didn't. You know, I certainly would have not thought at point A, point B was possible. But my 5 pillars will not be your 5 pillars. But you may remember, you may not remember because it's quite a while ago, that I would have sent you a very initial welcome information about Project U. And in it, I would have talked about the 5 pillars process. So the program Project U is based around 5 pillars. It's based around your food, your nutrition, exercise, your mindset, your lifestyle, and the 5th pillar kind of wraps them all up, is the habit change. Now, my 5 pillars I made for me specifically, and again, there's a short training on that, but I looked at things like, so I knew one of my big rocks was the fact that when I was an interim, I would every evening drink 2 or 3 large glasses of wine because I was miserable as sin. I was unhappy, but I knew that was not supporting my longer term goals. So one of my 5 pillars was around moderation, around drinking alcohol. One of them was around sort of the commitments that I wanted to make for myself to exercise. One was around sleep, actually, because I do struggle sometimes with quality of sleep. But you will have your own 5 pillars. And again, this will be a coaching model that I want you to have a look at. And there'll be a short training for you around that with a sheet that you can do. So how? So what are we going to do here? So the first one you're going to do is revisit your future self. The second one is the wheel of everything, piece of cheese. And the third one is the 5 pillars. But Lisa, you know, I know there's always going to be, but Lisa, is it really worth it? Oh, you know, it's just a bit of a faff. I would have said to you at the very beginning, the people that engage with the coaching models get the best results because they challenge themselves. They make themselves feel a bit uncomfortable. They get out of their own way. And you, as an interim professional, as a professional, you will know that when you actually start to feel a bit uncomfortable, that's when change happens. So, you know, I can't make you do any of this, but all I can do is encourage you. Oh, but Lisa, I'm so busy, I haven't got the time. Look, none of these are going to take you more than 15 minutes top whack. That's the reality. And if you can't schedule 15 minutes in, you know, in the next few coming weeks to go back to future self and look at the others, then, you know, I don't know what we've been working on really. So, and you know, the good thing about this is it, as I say, it gives you the opportunity to review, to refresh, and to look about going forward. Now, on Project U version 2.0, which is my mastery program, we do a lot more of these coaching models because what we really want to do is ingrain this stuff so it becomes second nature. You know, the statistic is that only 95% of diets fail, only 5% of people are successful. And you know, 3 months is a good period of time. It's a good block of time. But I've seen too often people kind of unravel a bit. They stop doing things. And it's one of those things, well, why did they stop doing it? And when I look back, there's usually a common thread. One thing is they haven't engaged fully in the coaching models. The second thing is they have moved so far away from that initial place that initial kind of pain of being overweight, unhappy, lacking in confidence, all those sort of things, you know, are to a larger extent have gone. So there's not still that same drive, that same motivation to keep going and keep pushing forward. So I really, really encourage you to take the time because, you know, this is Project U. You know, it, excuse me, it is Project U version 2.0 if you come onto my mastery program. It is about you because it's not selfish. I think it's actually selfless. Once you have that place with yourself where you like yourself, you love yourself, you accept yourself, you put time into yourself, you put effort into yourself, that can soon go out into other areas and other people. You know, the better you are, the more you have to give. That's a very simple fact, and we all kind of know that. You know, we're usually at the bottom of a long list of priorities, but when you push yourself up to the top of the list, you know, you will see those changes. So, action points. Action points is going to be the review of the future self. That's going to be your first one. The second is going to be the piece of cheese. And the third is going to be the 5 pillars. And there's one other thing that I want you to do. I just want you to take time again to reflect. You might have done the 10 things that you've learned in this program. I just want you to take time to reflect on where you have come from and where you've got to, because if you've got to this point, you need to congratulate yourself. I'm sure you've been doing really, really well. So yeah, take some time to celebrate what you've achieved, and you know, the 3 coaching models will be winging their way to you. So take good care. Thanks, guys. Have a great day wherever you are, whatever you're doing.